Hey everyone, welcome to Lifting His Name podcast, where four friends on different journeys with Jesus come together and discuss real life and where we can just glorify God. Enjoy.
I think one of the main ways of wasting rest is indulging in pity and indulging of self-sorrow and then self-medicating to guard against your own pity. And I think for myself, even, I think about the season that I was in, just to briefly share, like, it was 7 years full-time ministry, itinerant ministry, like just blowing and going, working at a few different churches, two different churches full-time, and just building culture, refining culture, expanding culture, like creating, building, starting, all these things that were just fun, exhilarating, but exhausting. And at the end of that 7-year period, we thought we were taking another job, another church in Texas. Didn't happen. I would just say providentially, I guess. The Lord knew what we needed, and that wasn't it. It seemed like a perfect job, like a dream job in a type situation, and it didn't happen. And so what happened was we were just thrown into a season of basically everything that we were doing just ceased, almost like overnight. And I was like, just like you said, that pendulum was just swinging. It was more like a car revving and stuck in red line, like stuck in the first gear, and you were trying to go faster and faster and faster, was basically my life. And so in the same way that we're
neutral,
literally the Lord just like took it out of gear and just went, Ew. And so
blow this thing up, man.
There's no traction, couldn't go anywhere, and I was in a season like a year where literally I had nothing to do.
That was a serious spiritual growth moment for you, because I remember you going through it, and there was like a lot of mental,
mentally, emotional,
like it was
spiritual, crazy. Everything possible. And I think it's in those still places, where in those seasons of rest and stopping, the Lord does His best work.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
If we're willing to surrender that, because rest, what it taught me was that we're not that important. Rest teaches us that we are very insignificant.
Mm-hmm.
And the Lord doesn't need us. The Lord simply invites us. And for me, I had kind of put myself as the priority, as like, look, these things won't happen without me. Like, I'm important. And
I'm important to you, God.
Good. Yeah, I feel good.
I'm gonna go fix that church.
No, really. I mean, that's kind of what it felt like.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it felt good to like have to be important, to have priority, to have influence.
God checked you.
Oh yes. Yes. I mean, if there were a ladder and I was climbing it, I was thrown off the ladder.
Mm-hmm.
But now, like, through that, I've been able to redefine what rest is, and reprioritize what rest looks like, because it's one of the 10 commandments. But it's like the first 10 commandment we're often willing to let go of and just say, me. Like, why is Sabbath rest in the same line as don't murder? And I think maybe it's because when we don't rest, we're actually committing murder to our souls and murder to ourselves.
Wow.
Is it? This could be way off, but
don't get us off topic.
No. I mean, like, this could be wrong. I am not saying that this works, but my brain could be spirit. I don't know. When you say that, when you say rest, not resting is against ourselves, and it's right there with murder. Interestingly enough, what is the one thing they teach is the sin that you sin against yourself, and that's sexual immorality.
Mm.
So in a way, my brain just said, whoa, there's a second one. Not resting, not obeying God's command to rest in Him is kind of a sin against yourself, because it's damaging to you.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you don't take advantage. So my brain just was like, wait a minute, there's two? There's two you can do against yourself. I mean, you can, don't get me wrong, I know that there's a lot of sin against yourself, but that's one of the lessons taught about sexual immorality, is like that is a sin against yourself. It's a sin against your own body, your own self.
Yeah. That'd be a great other discussion to talk about too. and what that means and how we apply that. So
There's
maybe
a lot of
another time. But
we have endless podcast schedulings that we can.
Absolutely.
But anyway.
So, I mean, I'd love to know more about like you. Like, I feel like I admire so much about you because not just because you're awesome and cool and like, I want to be you when I grow
do
up.
Jiu-jitsu.
Like you're like my alter ego. You're like super gregarious and extroverted and like a big personality. And I'm just like, let me hide in the corner in the shadows and watch people. Like, no, let me be with the people.
Yeah. There's a role to play there.
Yeah.
We talked about.
So like all that to say, not just to flatter you because I mean every word of it.
Last week.
But I'd love to know like what is, and we talked about this a little bit before, but I'd love to like just dive in a little bit further. Like the thought of rest, being still, being isolated, like does that make you anxious and like, hang on, that sounds like I'm being lazy. Like I think people just can't sometimes have trouble distincting resting and laziness. And like for you, and you know, for me, I'm just like I could veg out all day. Like put me alone in a house in a coffee shop with a book, buy whatever, some headphones. I can block out everyone around me, and let me just do that. That sounds delightful. And then to you, that probably sounds like torturous.
Oh my gosh, it does.
Yeah.
Me too.
So what is like and I think my point in all that is I think there's growth points for me to become more like what you do and become more like you and be like, go, Energizer Bunny. Like I admire that. I think it's a skill and not just like a personality thing, but at the same time, like, I'd love to know just kind of like from your perspective, what does rest look like for you?
Well, first of all, thank you. I don't deserve all that, but thank you. Rest seems horrible to me, but I try. I do try to like slow it down periodically, but
let me reframe that. Like what I just described, like how I describe rest doesn't necessarily mean that's the best way to rest or the healthiest way to rest. I'm just saying that's my default to rest. So I want to learn other ways of rest. So maybe the better question is, what does rest look like for you? Since if we're on like basically not other ends of the spectrum, but just like, see rest differently. What does it look like for you? Like teach me, how would you teach me how to rest?
Resting for me is about the only time I feel somewhat peaceful. It's like when I'm like getting some like good quality family time.
Yeah.
That is about,
what does that look like?
Man, that does look, as simple as like vegging out on the couch and just hanging out with my kids or watching a movie with my wife. But even then it is hard. And I don't like that about myself because best on me for a long time. I'm just like, let's go. Like, I don't want to say pre-Jesus, but kind of unfortunately was, but it was like with work, it was just gotta go, gotta sell, there can be more. Mm-hmm. And then now it's like, I do view it that way. It's like, where do I look at my calendar and it's like, all right, I have an hour and a half there. I can plug in a meeting and talk with somebody about Jesus or talk with, do something like that. It's just, I catch myself never resting.
So let me ask you this.
Fill every moment.
I try to fill every moment with something productive and I try to have a kingdom building mindset on everything I do.
Yeah.
But I'm not comparing myself to Tim Tebow, so let me preface that. But it's like, I feel like I spent so much time in the wrong, and I'm not saying I got it all right now, but it's like, my goodness, from where he brought me, it's like, I want to be that person who is going around and encouraging everybody of every second of the day because I know where he brought me from. And it's like, and he will do that for you and for you and for you.
And that's a good challenge for me. I know you're about to say something.
No, you're fine. Go ahead.
For me, it's funny because I see the canceled meetings as like a blessing. I'm like, oh, thank you, Lord. Canceled meetings is an introvert's blessing. It means I get to be by myself some more instead of seeing it as, who can I meet with? Who can I call? Who could I share some time with to encourage and strengthen? And instead of resorting to just like defaulting to isolation, over resting.
See, it's funny that you say default to isolation because my brain, while he was like trying to think of a way that felt restful, I'm like, what about like on the boat? And I was like with your
with your family and your best friends. And it was like in my head, I was like, that's so restful, but there's like all these people there.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, that's my default.
Mhm.
I'm thinking like we go to Tim's Ford and it's like, let's all go hang out. And that's like restful and resetting because I'm not working on, I don't know. So like me on the boat with my husband and my kids and my best friend. And it's like, yep, let's go. And then I'm like, and they can come and they can come too. And they can come too.
I totally see you taking that opportunity to still evangelize in that moment.
Right.
You're still going to build the kingdom, even though you're there as like a fun, entertaining thing.
Sure.
Well, like just like when we sit around and we talk about Jesus and we talk about the word and everything.
Well, and you're with your kids, so you're going to be parenting godly.
Two things I was going to say. One, there's no, like, I feel like there's a dangerous potential of shooting on yourself when you compare these things, right? Because you're like, oh man, if I could be more like that. It's like, but wait.
And I think the same thing.
I should do that. I should do this.
I should be more like that.
You play you fulfill the role that God needs you to fulfill. So that is a reminder for everyone out there that comparison is the adversary's like,
thief of joy.
Oh my gosh, he loves to make you compare yourself. That's why social media is so awful. Anyway, but the other thing I was going to say.
But check us out on social media.
But please like and follow.
Yes, but please like and subscribe.
Share with a friend that you think would benefit from this.
So, anyways, the other point I was going to say, though, is it's really funny as you were talking about, Adam, how sitting around with your family and doing things like that. I just flashed to like when I'm over at your house, Beth, and like play with kids. Very rarely is she sitting and actually just hanging out with me. It's cleaning.
Thanks for being
here. Organizing. Suddenly she disappears. It's cool because I'm hanging out with like Sadie and I'm holding Sophie and stuff, and she disappears. She's like, I'm cleaning out a closet. It's fine, and I'm going. Just sit down. Like I'm here.
I'm like, I'm listening. I just have to empty out this china cabinet
because I'm like Jared, right? I'm like opportunity to sit and put my feet up because I'm on my feet all day.
Present.
Okay, so to be fair, you work all day on your feet, standing up.
I was going to get to that point.
I am home all day holding a baby, so you're at my house holding a baby, and I'm like, I know. Look at what I can do with these hands. I have 2 hands.
And that was going to be the thing. It's just funny but you find rest still just because your people are there.
Yeah.
And you're like, filled by that. And I would be over here like, kick my feet up. Don't talk to me. I'm great. Like, just don't speak to me. But then, like, by the end of the night, kids are in bed. Michael's off on the phone somewhere. And it's me and you. And you're like,
yeah.
And then we sit. And then it's talk.
Right.
But if I can say something too real quick, like talking about everybody has a different opinion of rest. And everybody has a different role in this thing called spreading the gospel and being fishers of men and, you know, being kingdom building mindset. Like that, to that point, I feel like right now my role is to be out and meeting as many people as possible. And it's like, I'm struggling with this. I'm struggling with that. I used to have a encyclopedia of struggles, or like, I don't even know if encyclopedia is the right word, but I used to have a book of personal struggles. So thankfully I can meet a lot of people of where they are in life and be like, hey, look, I used to deal with that.
Like I see you. I understand.
I can relate because I do. I mean, God let me experience a lot of life, and I'm not proud of a lot of that life, but thankfully I can sit across from somebody and be like, look, dude, I used to be there.
Yeah.
And I think my role is to be that fisherman and pull them in and be like, hey, look, good news. I don't have all the answers.
Yeah.
Only one person does. But let me introduce you to my friend Jared, who knows. But that to me is like my point. Like, and I feel like that's where
you're like, I don't know, but I can find out.
Yes.
Yeah, but that's where I feel like I have, you know, like our church, I feel like is like they've been using me in a good way, and I'm honored for it. But they're like, hey, look, dude, you got to roll. Like, you have a ton of connections. You connect with people easily.
You do.
Just go get them and bring their butt in here, and then we'll do the hard work.
Yeah.
I mean, he does the hardest work.
But see, that's hard for them versus you. Hard
Exactly,
for him is
yeah.
to go get the people.
Yeah.
And
Hard for you is to sit down and study. So that's why you need
Yeah.
both.
Yeah.
I'll go get the people and I'll bring them to the place. And then you have people who are there ready. You are ready to talk and connect and have a conversation and guide and teach and go deeper. But sometimes you're like, hey, Jared, go get people. You're like, oh,
Yeah.
people.
I don't want my stuff to be surface level because it's definitely deeper than surface level.
Yeah.
But I don't even know if admire is the right word, but like I really appreciate knowledge, when y'all have that knowledge base that you can just quickly go to scripture and stuff like, man, Jared, I'm struggling with this. Oh, well, it says this, and this, in Romans. You're like,
I didn't know that. Thanks.
Which obviously you can easily Google it, but like whenever you're sitting there talking to somebody who's like, can actually like quote scripture to you and help you apply it to your life, that to me is powerful.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just like, hey, let me put my arm around your neck. Come on, let's go meet my buddy.
Yeah.
Here's Jesus.
And then here they are.
Yeah.
So I appreciate what you said, but like I said, man, I appreciate the people that do have that ability to sit and to rest and to pick up the Bible. And I mean, I do love reading my Bible. Let me preface that. But then also I'm like, did I leave the oven on? Did I?
You haven't cooked since 1995.
I think it's really important also in all of this discussion to remember that not only does God have you fulfilling a role when he needs you to fulfill that role, and your strengths through him are in that, but also when that time of your life comes to make that shift, that is his growing you in that moment, and he will shift you. And no matter how hard you fight it,
Yeah.
he will shift you, and he will make it to where he's going to one day maybe go, Adam, you've done enough evangelizing, networking. I need you to go sit with your family. And it's not to say you have to sit there with your hands folded and never move again, but he may say, focus on the family for the next season.
Right.
Okay. Stop trying to go fill all your time. Just spend time with your family. And that could be 10, 20 years from now.
Yeah.
Who knows? But I think it's important to point out that he will put it on your heart, and he will strengthen you in what he needs you to shift and what he needs you to do. I know that, gosh, your mom told me that time at the cabin when she was like, Whitney, I see you being a leader. And I'm like,
Yeah.
Gross.
If and when that time comes, God will push me and give me and strengthen me in that, and I have no doubts. And I'm like, I'm ready for it right now. And it's not there right now.
So, because I feel the exact opposite. Like I feel like I've been benched on the sideline. I'm just like, put me in, coach. Put me in, coach. Put me. I'm ready.
Yes,
I'm ready.
but
I'm ready.
see, but that's where I feel like that's where he's trying to strengthen your
and the Lord is saying,
surrender.
Like, no, you're not.
And saying, stop, because when I did that with you,
You
what happened?
ran wild.
You got a little prideful. You got a little up on your own pedestal to some degree. And he said,
Sure.
so now I gotta strengtton your
Before
humility.
I lose you,
Right.
I need to humble you.
You know what really helps me out too is somebody, because like 2 years ago I shot out of the cannon and I'm just like, I'm going to tell everybody about this, Jesus. Which again, I've known him for a long time. Just didn't live right. But somebody told me one time, I don't know if word from God, word from man, I don't know. But anyways, they were like, listen, I need you to put some perspective. I'm going to put some perspective in your life. Samuel found David, told David all these incredible things that was going to happen, anointed him as like, you are going to be the man. You're going to be, besides Jesus, you're going to be the most famous king probably to ever walk this earth.
Yeah.
And I can only imagine being David like, yes, boy, let's go see a sheep. And then you're like, oh, no. You're going back out to the What do you mean? You just told me all these incredible things. Now I got to go back out there with this?
Yeah.
And they had to go back out there and do the same thing I was doing for a while. When they told me that, it was just like, all right, try to live in surrender. The rest part, I don't want to be disrespectful to God, but I do want to die tired. I want to die tired.
That's
I want to
fine.
die tired of serving Him. But
he needs you like that.
But to the thing, it's like, all right, some people, maybe he is just resting you up.
Sure.
And I told another guy one time, I was like, listen, man, like you might be Moses, I might be Aaron. Like you just might be bringing all this in, and you just give me the paper, and I'll be like, all right, everybody listen up.
Sure.
And Moses is really the powerful person.
Yeah.
I'm just simply relaying it.
Yeah.
Because that's what I'm good at. And I'll be okay with that.
Yeah, I love that. And there's something there's a guy in Houston, Neil McClendon. He's a pastor there, just wild prophetic preacher, and it's awesome. He talks about a lot of times, he said, a lot of times when Jesus is trying to get our attention about stuff, he says, I hate the theology that thinks Jesus is like on the outside of this door that only has one knob and it's on the inside. He's like lightly tapping, like, pretty please with heaven on top, will you let me in the door so I can change your life and do cool things? He's like, no, Jesus is like a SWAT team kicking the door in with a 45 and saying, let's go, it's time to go, get on your face now, you're under arrest. Like, that's more like what the Spirit of God, how he operates and acts and stuff. And yes, sometimes there's an invitation of, do you want me to change your life? And if it's yes, then I'm coming through that door and I'm kicking it through.
Right.
And like, nothing will stop me. And it's not like this.
He hog-ties you and drags you.
Yes, it's like, all right, time to go. And it's, by the way, we're not, time to quit doing stuff. So yeah, you're going to get tired up and quitting.
Please prune me.
Submission.
Ow.
Yes.
Ow.
I don't like this.
I didn't want it to hurt though.
Yeah.
And I love that so much more because that's exactly right. And when we have those perspectives of, of when things don't go according to plan, we can think of it one of two ways of like, oh God, what are you doing? What are you doing? Or we can say, okay, God, clearly you are like hog tying me and preventing me from doing these things because it was going to ruin me or something.
Right.
So something else is going to happen. So I'm going to trust you with that.
And that's where that rests. That to me is where maybe I need to do a better job of like, all right, I'm going 90 miles an hour. What am I missing?
Yeah.
But let not forget, and correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't it rest? The word rest is also celebration.
Yeah.
Right. And so it's like, it doesn't mean rest when he's telling us to rest in him. Yeah. It doesn't mean stop, which we think like I have to rest. Panda.
She's so noisy.
It's like, it's
deceptive.
It's,
I know.
She's like, I want to rest. No, but it's celebrate. So celebrate with him. So you do that. If that changes your mindset, shift like the perspective shift of go rest versus go celebrate Jesus.
Yeah.
It's a different thing in our head.
That's good.
Yeah.
The better question is how do you do it celebrating? Like what does celebrating look like? And I think I've tried to practice celebrating more because when in Genesis, when it says God rested from all that he had done, you could say the same thing. You could say he celebrated what he had done. Mm-hmm. God was celebrating the creation of the universe, of the earth, and of humanity. He was celebrating the work that he did. So how often at the end of the week do we stop and reflect and just celebrate what we did that week and just kind of crack open that top shelf bottle of wine, that Cabernet, and just kind of go pour your glass and go, yeah, thank you, Lord. Thank you. Thank you for your faithfulness, your kindness, your grace. Thank you, God, for the conversations I got to have. Thank you for what you did at church this week. Thank you that your mercies and I want to celebrate and indulge myself in you for a day.
There is also another aspect to look at with this. You're moving, doing, evangelizing, both y'all, just your networking and your connection with people that just feed your soul, and you love to use that and feeding the kingdom and building the kingdom and everything. Jared, this might be you too, since we're the other side of the scale. We've split our pendulums right here. This was planned out perfectly. But my
white, black, white, green.
My mind. Oh my gosh. My mind seeks knowledge and wisdom through the word and time alone with God in my mind. And in that, I feel I build the kingdom because I am giving myself knowledge and foundation so that when my friend comes to me and says, hey, what do you know about blah, 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 and I'm like, oh, matter of fact, So it's really fascinating to think of how those work together. How my rest, my rest can feed my soul by me actually working by reading. While that sounds like, to you, that restful time and that knowledge seeking and everything is actually work, and it will actually wear me out. And that it fills me. It gives me so much.
That's
but
the
it's
better
also
word. Fulfilling.
Yes, it's very fulfilling, but it is still very taxing as well. But it's joyful taxing, just like networking and evangelism. It's joyful to you. You're like, man, I get to go do this. I'm looking at it like, oh, it's exhausting. And you're looking at me reading a book going,
that's exhausting.
That's exhausting.
Yeah.
And it's so fascinating how those two acts, while they look exhausting, are actually us resting and feeding the kingdom.
In two different ways.
So your rest could be networking for God.
Yeah.
That
talking about Jesus with friends who need to hear about it. Yeah.
That is celebration too.
Yes. Good job.
Because you get to vocalize how much love and excitement you have about Jesus. I mean, that is celebration as well.
When is boat season?
Yeah. I mean, for me, so like, I'd love to know, I mean, that's great. You know, for me, what I've realized is being in nature, going on walks, going through trails, like that's restful. Admiring beauty, looking at art, eating really good food, good wine, like that is restful. And of course, there's a fine line in resting and indulging. And the same with anything, like watching a good movie. You watch a movie to rest, or you watch a movie to veg out and escape. Like escapism is not resting. And there's a time, and the best way to tell is, you know, for me, it's like, where does my energy level do? Like when I rest, energy tends to go up because it's fulfilling, it's engaging, it's energizing, it's inspiring and compelling. Escapism, I always feel worse afterwards.
Like scrolling. And all
scrolling.
That stuff. It's mindless, and you think, "Oh, I'm actually taking a break," but it just drains you.
Yes.
There's good rest, and there's good rest, and there's escape, and that's really good.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's going to be different for everybody. I mean, for me, like booking my day full of appointments, I'll feel really important that day, but then I'll be exhausted when I get to my family, and I'll have nothing left for my kids. And I've had days like that, and so I've had to learn how to space out. All right, I know I'm going to need a buffer before I just roll in, before my kids roll in, or I need to do something. Or the opposite can be true. When I've practiced escapism and I've just self-medicated, like being alone in isolation all day, that's draining. And so when my kids come home, I got nothing left because I've been by myself all day alone in the house. And I'm like exhausted because You
didn't do anything to fulfill. Yeah,
it was fulfilling, like restful. I may have gotten a lot done, like work-wise, but it wasn't anything like fulfilling, and it wasn't restful. So,
yeah, I think that's important points to make because of starting with the video about Tim Tebow. Like, it's very touching, and it resonates with y'all probably a lot more because just the thought of having so much to accomplish, and if it's spoken in a way, because I really don't remember it well enough, because if it's spoken in a way of action, literally going out, reaching out to people, doing things with people, doing that kind of building, I'm like, that's not restful at all. Like, I'm not gonna, like, I will feel happy because getting out in community with God's church is always going to be fulfilling to some degree, but I will come home tired physically, mentally, because in the end, the most fulfilling parts for me are theological discussion and learning and wisdom. Like, I would rather this is more energizing to me than anything out there could possibly be. Even if we've had dinners and meetups where it's just you and I talk, and we're talk going for hours.
Like looking over their shoulder, like what in the world are they like?
Yeah,
and it's awesome.
It's fantastic. So I say that to say when you see these videos on social media, online, whatever, don't let it make you feel like you're not accomplishing enough or the right way. Because just like we said before, our act or our works are a result of our faith. It is not I need to go do this because that's how I'm going to measure up to go to heaven, and that's how God will be proud of me and all this kind of stuff. No, that was my childhood where I never felt good enough because I thought I was doing everything I was supposed to, and I never felt my relationship with God. I never felt strong, and I always felt like everything was going wrong and nothing was ever fulfilling. I viewed God in my childhood as a very stern dictator,
distant,
and very distant, and
Never
very
good enough.
looking down at me with shame because I just wasn't reading enough. I wasn't doing enough, and it was a horrible, horrible experience. And so that's why I'm so adamant when I hear people talk about, faith without works is dead. And I'm like, yes, however, it's the faith that produces the works.
Yeah, works of
It
evidence.
is the faith, because
Yeah.
when I got saved and I dedicated my life to Jesus, the thirst and fire to get out there and teach and preach and connect and talk about it and build it up, and that love I just immediately felt from God, it produced in me this just desire to show the world. It was not about how I did it, where I did it, the task list involved, in how to do it, whatever. It just, God put it on my heart. And that is where the faith produces the works. It is heart posture to God that opens you up to that action.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I could get really into some stuff, because when I see
Awesome.
a lot of different videos about, what's right and what's wrong, I get real passionate.
You're 100% right, but I also think it's really smart for people to, like, context. You see a 30-second clip of a 2-hour podcast,
Yes.
and whoever cut that video and put it out and made it look like they're saying something, it might not actually be what was
Clickbait.
being said. Yeah. And so just making sure that you go through and take the time to see what it is that you're listening, what it is that they actually said, and then reference it back and make that, if you're going to take it as somebody that you're learning from, then you take what they're going to say and you bring it back to the Bible.
Yeah.
You bring it back to God. You check it back. Always come back and center there so that He's always the center of it.
Yep.
And you can find your rest and your
Celebration.
celebration.
In the way that God has you resting.
Right.
Celebrating.
And how He designed you to rest.
Yeah. As long as it's in Him.
Yeah, I guess that'd be the main point, is to say, rest in everything as God directs you to.
Exactly.
Yeah, where you find your fulfillment. Let me back up. Finding fulfillment in Jesus, because we can find our fulfillment in a lot of different places that are adverse to Jesus.
Right.
But when we find fulfillment in God, we can find God anywhere and anything. And so how is the Lord inviting you to rest?
And rest will look different for every single one.
That's right.
Yes.
Exactly.
No shoulds, no shames,
No shoulds.
none of that. Okay. I think this has been a phenomenal discussion. I would say I would love to go deep discussion more into more topics of how vital your heart posture and faith are to truth. And I know that may seem very vague and not make a lot of sense, but
check us out.
No, you'll narrow it down.
Check out the next video.
Yeah. So I feel like that's a great way to end this, to say let's head into discussing a little bit further down into that.
I'm in.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Till
Thanks
next
for joining.
time.
See you next time.
Yes, like and subscribe.
Yes.